What's going on, XRP Army? If you're watching the replay of this stream, you can go ahead and skip ahead to the 4-minute mark. I'm going to give it 4 minutes, allow for people to come in, let the stream get buffered, test audio, and we'll go ahead and get into all of the information. We have prices down today amongst a ton of bullish news. No one wants to admit the fact that it has nothing to do with the price. So again, we'll cover why the price is down, Bank of Japan information, as well as all the bullish news that's come across. So again, if you're coming into the stream or watching the replay, we're going to start at the 4-minute mark, but we will cover all of the information, including the price being down and what we can expect moving forward. Are we going to see more bleeding, or are we not going to see more bleeding? Again, as you're coming into the stream, please engage in the chat. We're going to wait for 4 minutes to get everything going here, allow people time to get in. I got started a couple minutes late today, but again, I love Monday streams. The energy always seems to be a little bit higher coming off of the weekend, and unfortunately, we have bad price action going on today, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to cover everything. We're going to say why the price is down. Nothing fundamentally is bad with XRP. It's just bad macroeconomic stuff going on right now. Dan Flang, you're selling yours now. Oh my goodness. Hey, it's your choice to do what you want to do, but selling at rock bottom doesn't sound like a good idea to me, but I mean, that's your call. I'm holding. I'm not going anywhere, but we will cover all of the information. Selling 250,000 today. That's a heck of a stack. I'll sell 250,000 pennies today. I'll trade those in for more XRP during this price dip. Down to 189 right now, though, unfortunately. Don't worry, we're going to talk about everything and what's going on. We can thank Bitcoin for this, unfortunately, but I digress. I want to cover all of the information going on today. I know you guys are joking, but hey, honestly, there's some people who are going to be hopping in here that are seriously feeling that way. I mean, that's why I just, I take it in stride, because there are people, people come at me all the time. Price. So believe me, I get both sides of it. And I buy more, You're hiding under the bed. Buying season, we love red. Well, they say the best time to buy, not financial advice. And again, anything in this stream is not financial advice, but they say the best time to buy is when there's blood in the streets. It hurts. It really, really hurts if, you're dollar cost averaging in and you're losing money at the same time. You think it's going to go to 150? I don't think it's going to go to 150. I really don't. And the reason I say that is because and I've said it in several streams. At the $1.75 level, there was a $3.1 billion purchase a couple weeks ago. And then before that, there was another big purchase that stepped in during the October 10th crash at right around that same $1.77 level. So I'm thinking that there's some big money makers sitting at that level. I don't really think we're going to get below that, but I mean, hey, I could be wrong. I didn't think we were going to go back below $2, but here we are. And that's all thanks to Bitcoin. So again, we will get it started at the 4-minute mark. I'm going to kind of give everyone a preemptive heads up on how the stream is going to work, because the way I do my streams is I start at the 4-minute mark. We'll hop into the chart and the price action. We'll cover ETF inflows. I'm going to be brief on that today because nothing's changed since the video on Saturday. So I'll be brief on the ETF inflows, and then we're going to hop into what's happening with the price amidst a ton of bullish news I have for you today as well. So we have a lot to cover for sure. If someone could let me know how many people are in the stream, I'm about to get started. I can't see it. I haven't seen a couple. Oh, there's the three brothers there. He's in there. I didn't see him sneak in there. But if someone, Stevens is in here, Dan Flang or Dan F Lang, whichever one you want to go. Alfred's in here. Okay. We got some people here. I'm gonna go ahead and get started here. If someone could let me know how many people are in the stream, we'll go ahead and roll with it and cover why we're bleeding today. Well, what's up, XRP Army? Welcome to the channel. If this is your first time here, kick back, relax. I'm not gonna ask you to do anything. And honestly, there's probably not a lot of people here. It looks like there's only 8. But I mean, price is bleeding today. No one really wants to talk about it, but we will cover it. So if it's your second time, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and engage in the chat. The chat is the lifeblood of the stream. All questions, comments, thoughts, concerns, I will address it all, because the way we're going to do it is we're going to do price, ETF inflows, news, why price is down, and then we're going to hop into the stream and cover every single chat. So that being the case, let's go ahead and hop into the price action. We are bleeding today. We are down to 189. Why? Why is it so bad right now? Well, we can thank Bitcoin for that. Let's take a look at Bitcoin and see what Bitcoin's doing. Bitcoin is down. Bitcoin is bleeding. So that means all of crypto is going to be bleeding. Why is all of crypto bleeding? Well, we've covered this in several streams. I'm going to go ahead and pull it up again here. Let's see here. This is the dollar to yen strength index, US dollar to yen. As I've said it many times, this goes down, Bitcoin goes down, and the rest of crypto follows. It is not retail necessarily per se. It is a rotation out of risk on assets because of the Bank of Japan. They are going to be hiking this week on December 19th. Okay. On top of that, we also have CPI core inflation data coming out today, which people are expecting to be bad, and jobs data supposed to be coming out next week. So there is a lot of macro data that is pushing Bitcoin down. And because of that, everything else is going to follow. But I think this is it right here. Is this it? Yeah, here it is. 3 U.S. economic data to shape the Bitcoin sentiment. So again, this is what I was just talking about. Upcoming Bank of Japan data adds to the mix, along with inflation and job fears. Divided between significant correlation to hopes between Federal Reserve policy might mitigate potential impacts. So yeah, job fears, inflation fears, Bank of Japan fears equals Bitcoin goes down the hole. That's simple, and everything else follows. Moving along, we're going to talk about what this actually means for XRP, though, because I actually do think this is a bullish sign. And the reason I say it's a bullish sign is the opportunity to buy. But so we talked about Vanguard having the ability to buy the Bitwise XRP ETF. They said this actually hasn't even started, but it's going to unlock access to over 50 million clients and could push XRP to $3. But this was just announced on December 2nd. And they're saying that they won't actually start introducing this to their clients until Q1. So again, this money from Vanguard, we haven't even begun to feel yet. This hasn't even started. Also, on top of that, it was saying that XRP held support while selling pressure fades. We can go ahead and get rid of that. That's a waste. Swift talking about ledger technology as well. And is this it right here? Where is it? Securities and Exchange Commission also publishing a crypto custody guide. Okay, so now the SEC is coming out saying, hey, here's how you're going to have to take care of your crypto, everyone. But this was the interesting one, I think, here. Yeah, this was it. So it was talking about XRP ETFs extend inflow streak as market price holds steady near $2. Up to today at this point, 30 consecutive days of ETF inflows for XRP. 30 consecutive days. During that time, we've had multiple days of inflows of Bitcoin and Ethereum and multiple days of outflows from Bitcoin and Ethereum. Do the math, connect the dots. Even amidst all this crash and price action, ETFs are still buying. ETF inflows are still buying. This is a rotation. It's not a snap. All right. So that being said, on top of that, I was talking about big news coming into play. Bank of America, SBI holdings among financial giants eyeing XRP for lightning fast cross-border payment settlements. This is from 21 shares. So, I mean, okay, this is stuff that's happening in real time. All right, real time. Payments happening. Adoption happening. XRP getting gobbled up left and right. Staking happening on other chains. The only reason price is going down is because it's following Bitcoin. So this is accumulation time, in my opinion, not financial advice. That moving on, let's cover what is actually being held in ETFs briefly, because I did cover all of this, on Saturday's video. So there are no updates. I double checked everything, nothing updated, but we have 87 million in Franklin Templeton's ETF still. Currently 107 million in Grayscale's ETF. Canary Capital has 171 million still. Bitwise still has 104 million XRP. and 21 shares still has 120 million XRP. So again, yen, bad. Economic data, bad. Bitcoin go down the hole. So now it's time to buy, in my opinion, not financial advice. That being said, I am going to hop into the chat and talk to you guys because I know there's lots of questions, and I want to hear people's real fears about XRP, because right now there's a ton of fear in the crypto community as a whole. No one knows what's going to happen. We're getting all this regulation and adoption, but the price is still going down. Everyone feels like they're getting rug pulled, or there's some kind of diversion or magic trick going on. Don't forget, Solana's going down, Bitcoin's going down, Ethereum's going down. All of these are going down, not just XRP. Okay, it is the crypto market as a whole, because the macroeconomic sentiment as a whole is bad, and these are still considered risk assets. We're going to see a big price jump once accumulation is done, in my opinion. So let's hop into the chat. We started off early with some people having some jokes about selling all of their XRP. But hey, it's all good. So good morning or good afternoon, Dan, Kaylin. I'm going to go with Kaylin. Let's see here. Alfred and Kaylin. Okay, yep. Steven's in the house today. Dan. Okay, three brothers said hello. And man, what is going on in my chat here? My chat's all messed up. Okay, there it goes. Hawaii Rider says, poop, the price is going down. Good thing I bought it 35 cents. Yeah, and that's true too. I mean, hopefully everyone here, I'm sure it's not the case, but hopefully everyone here bought, sub $1. My dollar cost average is not sub $1. It was before, but I had to liquidate in 2023. But nonetheless, let's see here. CMGH said, will Ripple ever abandon XRP when they become a national bank? I don't think so, because here's the thing. It does not behoove them to abandon XRP, because 90% of their company's value rests in XRP holdings. So if they abandon XRP, they're just throwing away billions and billions of dollars. It doesn't make sense. No, the XRP is going to go how Ripple goes. It's just, they can't move completely, they can't move hand in hand with Ripple. Otherwise it would be a security of Ripple, like a stock would. Let's see here. Steven says, wake me up in 6 months. Yeah, I know. I think we're really going to see, probably, I think we'll really see an appreciation unless something crazy happens. I mean, a Jake Claver prediction could be right. Something could happen, but we'll probably see, I think, on all crypto assets, a real turnaround, probably mid 2026. I was expecting a slow appreciation in December through January, and I'm still not ruling that out. I mean, just because of the supply, but that's not, I'm not ruling that out just because of what the available supply is. But again, that's not why I'm here. I'm here for what's going to be, a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. But I do still think we can get a big push. I do still think we can get a big push before the year is over. It's possible. Very, very possible, especially with exchanges. And here's another thing. Everyone wants to talk about price. This is very important. This is a big question, and I want to address this. Let me pull this up. Let me see here. Let me find it again for you real quick, because this is really important. A lot of people are asking, it doesn't make sense with all of these ETF inflows. Why is the price still going down? Whale selling, all of these things, right? So I don't have all of it pulled up here, but for those of you who are in every stream, and you can go back and check previous streams, this is factual data. We've covered the $1.29 billion worth of XRP that has left exchanges. We got the proof of that over the last 3 weeks to 2 months, somewhere in that period. And then also we have confirmation of roughly 600 million XRP being locked into ETF trusts at the same time, which is equivalent to roughly $1.2 billion worth of XRP. So ETFs accumulate 1.2 billion worth, while exchanges lose 1.3 billion worth. There's a similarity there. So what does that mean? It means retail is panic selling into institutions, in my opinion, not financial advice. I mean, so why is there no price change? Because retail is panic selling and small whales are selling into ETF accumulation. But also we found note that the medium sized wallets, again, reported on Yahoo Finance and confirmed. We saw from Yahoo Finance confirmed with them, but I also reported on it when their article was messed up. If you watch the two streams, you saw it. But medium-sized whales sold 330, so medium-sized 1 million to 10 million XRP holders sold 330 million worth of XRP in a 2-week period. But large whales purchased, being that of 10 million or larger in their wallets, purchased 350 million XRP during that same period. So it's a rotation, and unfortunately, retail was selling right into it. That being said, let's hop. Hopefully that makes sense for you guys on why the price is going down while ETFs are still accumulating. Let's see here. Let's get back into the chat though. All right, so retail FOMO coming in soon. I think we're not going to get FOMO until we see a price push. Like, I don't think we'll get FOMO unless we see some kind of ridiculous spike. Like if it were like to say tomorrow shoot up to, I'm just going to throw out random numbers, not predictions. But in order for FOMO to hop in, I think like it would have to turn around and spike to like 240 by tomorrow, and then the next day hit like $3, and then people would just start piling in. I think we would need to see like a 1 to 2 day jump back up to $3 to really get FOMO behind it. And considering how much XRP is locked up and what's actually available on supply, that could be a violent shift. I'm not predicting that, but it could be. We've seen it before with XRP. It's certainly a possibility. Let's see here. Hawaii Rider says, I'm thinking of buying more. Can I start a new bag in my cold wallet? Ellie Pal. Let's see here. I mean, you can start a new bag in any cold wallet. I mean, I have multiple wallets. I mean, your bag is, I guess, defined by however you look at it. Like, I consider my bag what I have locked away that is not to be touched. Everything else that I still play with, I don't really consider that like the bag, if you will. I guess I consider my bag as my moon bag. The rest of it, I still move around and dabble with, or I'll try to, do staking or, do those things, not just the stuff that I'm holding. Let's see here. Or is 100K enough? Are you saying 100K XRP or 100K worth XRP? I mean, what's enough? What is enough? I mean, that's different for each person. I mean, it depends on what you think XRP is going to be and when you think XRP is going to be it, on what's enough for you. RLUSD and XRP creating a multi-chain. Yeah, I mean, not only are they creating a multi-chain, but they're plugged into the US infrastructure. And if you caught the short that I did, either this morning or last night, I can't remember which one, but Swift is saying that they now have their blockchain ledger technology ready to go, but they just announced that they were working on one with consensus back in September. That's a pretty fast turnaround for a blockchain ledger technology to be able to handle that kind of scale. Just saying. I don't know what that means. They didn't say what ledger they were going to be using, mind you. I mean, there's lots of funky stuff happening right now that doesn't really have a good explanation that I wish I could give you. And again, if you guys know me, like the videos that I do on the weekends are very, very educational, very factual. Any shorts that I do, they're a little uppity, but again, they're based factual off of articles and news that's happening. I speculate when I get into the comments. This is when I have fun and speculate. So let's see here. So, but yeah, to answer your question, Hawaii Rider, sorry, I got sidetracked there. Should you start a new bag in a cold wallet? I agree on having multiple wallets and multiple setups, if you will. I mean, so that's something that I practice, not financial advice. So if you can, sure, why not? Or is 100K enough? What's enough? Oh, let's see. Alfred said RLUSD and XRP creating a multi-chain. We were just talking about that. That's where I got derailed. That's right. Sorry about that. CMGH 1508. Will Ripple ever abandon XRP when they become a national bank? I don't think so. I really don't. I mean, really, it comes down to this, and that's the risk we have as XRP holders. You are defining the key risk we have as XRP holders. Do you believe that will happen or not? I do not believe that will happen. And the reason I do not believe that happen is there's way too much invested in it by Ripple and also by companies that support Ripple. So if Ripple were to abandon XRP, not only are they going to rug pull us themselves and a bunch of their partners, that's a bad taste. That's a really bad look. I don't think that is the case. Again, my opinion, not financial advice. Let's see here. Steven said, wake me up in 6 months. Yep. Justin High, of course, says holding forever. Tony Bruno, this is my favorite channel. Thank you, my friend, for always keeping it real. I try to. I'm not gonna see the people who come out here and they try to lie to you and they try to do the hype stuff and say it's gonna be this or it's gonna be that. They're not gonna last. They're not gonna be here very long. That check comes due when you start making those kinds of promises. And I mean, I'm trying to keep it real with you. I'm not trying to make you guys lose money. I'm just trying to educate you. Honestly, you can make up your own mind and decide if you want to try to make money or lose money, but I'm just trying to give you all some facts. So I'm glad you see it that way, my friend. I'm really glad you see it that way. I appreciate you, Tony. Bill Crawford says, watch out for oil spike. Iran seized an oil tanker. Man, this whole oil thing's getting crazy, especially with the thing going on with Venezuela. I mean, I hate to even stoke that fire, but some of that stuff Jake said seems really eerie. I'm just throwing it out there. Jabez says, let's flip the switch. If there is a switch, I hope they flip it. I've never banked down that. I never believed that, but if there was, God, I hope so. Dacier says, love the content, bro. Keep up the good work. Your YouTube shorts are gold nuggets. I'm glad you like it. I try to make them fun and entertaining. It's still factual news. And someone pointed out something to me in one of the comments, actually on a channel post that really resonated with me. He said he was going away from crypto content because of all the hype and overblow and this stuff. And one of the things he pointed out is that no one puts the sources in an available spot. So every single short I create, 90% of them, unless it's an opinion short, but 90% of those are based on factual news or an article or something like that. So I'm going to start putting those links in the description for you guys, just to keep it 100% real with you. Because as you see, when we go through the streams, I'm pulling up the actual articles. But again, 90% of those shorts, unless they're opinion pieces, are based off an article. Again, so I appreciate that, and something I'm going to try and do for you guys as well to make it that much more, what's the word? That much more authentic? No, what's the word? Credentialed? I don't know. But that much more of a trusted source for you guys. I want you guys to see the factual information and where it's coming from with every single video. So I'm going to try to get better at that for you all. CMGH says, how does XRP going to Solana benefit XRP's price? So utility is going to benefit XRP's price in the sense the more it can do, the more it can be used, the more it is demanded, right? The more, what's the word? My brain's not working right, but the more it's demanded, the more demand it has, the more use case it has, the more it's sought after is going to bring investment. And not only that, but those things going on Solana that are being locked up in DeFi protocols is basically like another custodian for XRP. Think of it as another ETF trust taking XRP and locking it away. Because if someone takes 100,000 XRP and wraps it and deploys it on Solana, that is XRP that is not in available supply that can be bought, sold, or used. It is already being spoken for, just like ETFs, right? When XRP is held in an ETF trust, it has to stay there to back those shares 1-to-1. So it is not being bought, sold, used, or traded. It is effectively removed from circulating supply. That's why putting stuff in on the Flare network or on Solana or on Ethereum, which is going to be available, with this hex trust thing. It is essentially locking up more XRP, reducing supply, and increasing demand. Supply and demand is what is the root of all of this, guys. Supply and demand and value are what causes increases in price. Let's see here. My stream my chat just got messed up here. You guys are really active in the chat. I appreciate it. I'm getting caught back up here. Alfred says, are you doing XRP launching on 50 plus chains, people? Yeah, no, I mean, not even just 50 plus chains, but think of it this way. Like XRP already has 100 banks that are either using or testing XRP, right? So Ripple has over 100 bank partnerships that are actively using or testing XRP. And let's talk about the velocity of money. And this is why I talk about quantitative easing and quantitative tightening. And it all circles back to, it all does tie into XRP, but the general scheme of it. So let's talk about fractional banking and quantitative easing. So fractional banking, I'm going to make it very general for you guys, but fractional banking is essentially the way our banking system works. If you put $10 into the bank, right, the bank only has to keep $1 of that on hand, and then they take the other $9 and they lend it out. So this increases the velocity of money, the speed that money moves. Stagnant money doesn't make money. Government doesn't want that. So the faster money moves, the faster the economy moves. The faster the economy moves, the bigger it grows. It's the whole concept of it, the very baseline concept of it. So what does XRP do? It increases the velocity of money big time. And by doing that, it will open up trillions of dollars that can be used and put to work. That being said, when you talk about quantitative easing, the bank no longer, so when you get into quantitative easing, it basically takes that $1 they have to hold and say, oh, you don't have to hold that anymore. You can go ahead and lend that out, and we're just going to print more money as you lend it out. That's essentially what quantitative easing is. That's like the modern way of printing money. It's all digital. They're just increasing the balance sheet on the back end every time you take out a loan. That dollar bill you're holding is debt. It literally says note on it. It's not real money. It's debt. So that's why I'm so amped up about XRP. Like this, I only see this going one way because fiat is about gone. I mean, what was it? We're at 143% debt to GDP. So we're, our debt is our spending is 43% higher as a country than what we're actually producing. Think about that. It's getting bad quick. They're going to have to do something. Anyway, so back to the chat. Sorry, I went on my little debasement rant there. For those of you who don't know, I am of the debasement trade feeling. That's why I invest in gold, silver, was formerly invested in Bitcoin, just got out of it before this week, as well as XRP. I do still hold my XRP and will hold my XRP. If it goes down, I'm going to try and buy more. That is my goal. Let's see here. Do you see XRP repricing? Doesn't seem like it's going to happen. Thus why I would rather purchase after some negative news is over. There will be a form of repricing. There will have to be as they collateralize XRP. Just like there was with Bitcoin when Bitcoin was collateralized. Okay. So in order to act as a collateralized asset within the CFTC, right, which is where this is moving, they're not fully there yet. They are listed as collateral on the CFTC exchange through Binomial, but not formally within the CFTC. There's pilot programs going on right now. They just announced a couple days ago for Bitcoin and Ethereum on that. So XRP is next. That's why they're testing it on Binomial. So if it becomes a collateralized asset within the CFTC, it only does that for things that are stable and have high value and solid liquidity, like gold. Okay. So what determines value? Value is determined by what someone's willing to pay for it. That's really all there is to it. It comes down to simple supply and demand. If people decided tomorrow that gold was worthless and didn't want to pay for it, it'll plummet. Same thing with Bitcoin, same thing with anything else. XRP is being integrated and implemented into the US banking infrastructure. Ripple's getting a bank charter. XRP is becoming a collateral asset on federal exchanges with federal oversight. It's not going anywhere. It's not. So when will the price appreciate? I don't know. But it is being plugged in as a key piece in our US financial infrastructure. And you cannot deny that. That is fact. Period. Anyway, so back to the chat here. So do I think there will be a repricing? Yes. When? I don't know. What will it look like? I don't know. But there will have to be a repricing once the utility kicks on and they actually start using it and using it as collateral, because it will be a stable asset as long as it is working inside the US economy. Let's see here. Kaylin says, come on, guys. Like the stream. Let's help out as much as we can. I appreciate that, Kaylin. Yes, if you guys want to see this kind of content grow far and wide, please like, subscribe, share, engage in the chat. When we're actually live in the stream, the more engagement that happens, right? Chats, likes, reactions, all those things, the more, and the longer you watch, like if you watch 2 minutes and leave, it makes it look bad. But if you stay the whole time, it makes it look good. You know, all those things. That's how YouTube works. So please, if you any thoughts, opinions, like the video. If you don't like it, dislike the video. That counts as engagement. I don't care. Chat, reactions, all of those things help us grow far and wide. And if you guys want more people to see the real deal on what's going on with crypto, try and help them out. I'm not trying to sell you guys hype. I'm trying to give you guys facts and figures and how the actual market works. Let's see here. Abdiel, sorry about that. My brain zoned out for a second. Abdiel, I'm shaking in my space boots. Okay, Woody, calm down. Let's see here. Kaylin. Oh, wait, I just skipped over it. Jabez said XRP to 10,000 at least. I hope you're right, my friend. I hope you're right. Kaylin said, how do you feel about Tangent wallets? I mean, I haven't used one, so I can't really tell you. I have used Trezor, and I have used I've used Trezor, and I have used Ledger. I have not used a Tangent wallet yet. I've heard good things, but I can't tell you specifically. I am working on a partnership with a cold wallet company. They have sent me some products. I'm waiting for them to arrive so I can test and utilize them. They have made some good claims and they have very, very strong reviews. So hopefully I'll be presenting that to you guys soon as an option for you. But I want to make sure everything's good to go before I try to before I present you anything that you could use as an option. I want to make sure it's good. What I have done in my research to this point is very, very good, but I want to test it out. Let's see here. Let's see. Dan asked, how can people say XRP going to 10K but can't even touch $10? Well, Dan, if you look at the math of XRP and how it's actually designed to work, it is designed to run at higher numbers. And truthfully, the math does back that up in the long haul of it. But it's going to come down to what role XRP is going to fill and how much value is actually represented on the XRPL. That's why you hear me get excited when I talk about is Swift, what blockchain Swift going to use, because it's really quick for them to have their own blockchain. They got to be doing something. I'm curious where the DTCC is going to be tokenizing all of those stocks that they're getting approval to. Is it going to be on the XRPL or is it going to be on Ethereum? How is the XRP tied to it? So it's really going to come down to what value is represented on the XRPL, because that's the value that XRP is going to tap into for liquidity, right? That's what it compare with and be used for as a liquidity bridge. So that's what I'm following. So that's where those valuations get to of 10,000, because the DTCC handles quadrillions of value per year. If 10% of that lands on the XRPL, we're looking at a 3-digit XRP, right? So it's just math, and that's where these crazy valuations come from. a lot of people were sold a bill of goods like it was that this transition was going to happen like that. And I just didn't think that was the case. So I think that's where a lot of confusion's coming from on that. Real Alex Montez says, if XRP value appreciation is driven by its utility, what role do ETFs play in the framework? So if its value is driven by its utility, is ETFs are driven are a crucial part for liquidity, and it also has to lock up the supply. So in order for it to be, in order for the price to go up XRP, sorry, let me get this other screen off. It's distracting me. So in order for the price to go up for XRP, right, there's going to have to be a supply and demand dynamic to increase the price. ETFs, also people buying XRP, gives XRP liquidity so it can be utilized. So the more money pumped into the ETFs is more liquidity for XRP, regardless of the XRP's price. Right now, as XRP's price goes higher, it can now hold more liquidity. What is liquidity? How quickly you can buy and sell and move in and out of an asset. XRP can do that very, very well. And it needs to be able to do that and maintain a stable price. In order for it to maintain a stable price, we're going to have a very large floor so it doesn't drift. Again, that's kind of the supply and demand dynamics of how ETFs will impact it. And really the biggest impact is just supply and demand, right? People wanting it and not being able to buy it, having to pay more to get it, which increases the value and increases the overall liquidity of the asset. Let's see here. Jabez says, purchase when cheap. That is the idea. They always say buy low, sell high. I say buy low, sell never. But that's just me. Dan Flang is what I do. When the bad news is over, price goes up and you buy expensive. Yeah. And unfortunately, that's exactly what FOMO is. I mean, when price starts going up, people think they're going to miss out, fear of missing out, and they start buying it on the way up. And it's those people like us who are here buying when there's blood in the streets, saying, seeing what's actually going to happen. So, let's see here. Man, this chat is blowing up. You guys are awesome today. Keep it up. Can someone let me know how many people are in the stream? I haven't even gotten to the bottom of the chat yet, so we'll see. Let's see here. Dan says, thank you for answering my question on repricing. What are your thoughts on working with digital wealth partners? That's tough because there's a lot of bad actors out there. It's still a really risky space. I would say, me personally, if I'm giving you the advice of what I would give myself, best thing to do is self-educate. Because right now, when you're talking about like deploying your XRP for use somewhere, like if you're going to be deploying it for use like on Solana or on Flare, those are still considered risky, right? So I'm personally waiting, since Ripple got their bank license, I'm personally waiting for Ripple to offer some kind of native staking on the XRPL. I do think something will come along where you can, drop your XRP off and let Ripple take care of it. But on top of that, another option is institutional custody. If you just want to keep it safe, I am working on an option for that for you guys. So you can just use institutional custody as opposed to, a wealth partner. There's a lot of those popping up right now. Just, you have to really properly vet it. I would make sure, I'll try to find someone you can trust. How about that? I can't give you advice on it because there are a lot of risky people in that space. So right now I have to say, don't do it. That would be my advice. Let's see here. I lost it. Man, you guys are blowing the chat. I appreciate you. I can't keep up. Let's see here. Race fan said new week. It is a new week, Race fan. There it is. Austin Shields says, I have Tangent Wallet, but I'm nervous putting all of my crypto onto it. Would I be able to move it from my cold wallet back to the exchanges? Absolutely. Yeah, you can move your stuff from wallet to wallet. Once you put it on a cold wallet, doesn't mean it's stuck there. All it is it's another address. Remember, so all a cold wallet is your key access. The XRP never physically leaves the XRPL. Okay. Cold wallets are just the key access, meaning you have to have the keys and the physical item there in order to access it. But the actual XRP never leaves the XRPL. So you're just routing wallet addresses. So you can always move it back to the exchange or to another cold wallet or to a warm wallet or anywhere really. So I mean, if your primary concern is safely storing your crypto, then having a few cold storage wallets as well as a couple warm wallets would be the way I would go personally. Not that way you're not putting all of your eggs in one basket. You could go get once you have, you could put the bulk of it on one or two cold wallets and then go get a safety deposit box at the bank and put the cold wallets as well as the keys in there. Or you could have two safety deposit boxes and have, one with the cold wallets and one with the keys. There's all kinds of ways you can custody it. I personally have one cold wallet in institutional custody. I have one cold wallet in a bank and a safety deposit box. And then I have one cold wallet at home. So, I mean, there's all kinds of ways that you can secure your crypto. I would say just do some good research, not financial advice. And I personally don't really think I fully trust the wealth management companies just yet. But there probably are a couple out there. Let's see here. Let me find out where I was in the chat here. Oh, there it was. I was Austin's. Okay. Cynthia says Jake is not apologetic, but he did say that his 2025 year-end price target was for the benefit of the community. Yeah, you mentioned that in a previous stream, Cynthia, and that's really sad to hear. I mean, honestly, if that's the case, then he's just destroying all of his credibility, unfortunately, and that's sad. And that's what we were talking about when people come out and they're, making these outlandish predictions and promises. The check comes due eventually. Now, he probably doesn't care because he made millions on YouTube. But I mean, hey, Nick says $1.88 to 10K, no way, and heal. Well, I will not say it's impossible, but I would be inclined to agree with you, but I'm not going to say it's impossible. Now, how long are we talking here? 20 years? Definitely possible. Definitely possible. Look at Amazon. Look at Google. Look at Microsoft 20 years ago. That's definitely possible. Tesla. I mean, I can keep going. Let's see here. Steven says the bull run is hard as AF. Sorry, I almost went with it. Well, this bull run is hard AF. Too much manipulation and multiple black swans. I mean, it's been something. And again, you want to say bull run, that's fine. But I don't think we're in traditional crypto cycles anymore. Now that institutions are involved, the cycles are gone, right? Big money doesn't play in cycles like that. They have their own cycles they play with, and they typically go every 7 years if you go back and look. Let's see here. Race Van says, Tangem, I own one, no complaints. I'm very happy with it. So there you go. Someone says they're happy with it. Austin Shields, the new ETFs open today. No, new ETFs did not open today. At least not that I'm aware of. I've been too distracted with the price. I didn't honestly look too deeply into if new ETFs launched today, but I don't think they did. I think I would have seen it. Race Fan says, I've said it before, people complaining and whining about price are currently not mature enough to be investing in this asset space. Stop listening to the Moon Boys. Yeah, I mean, well, here's the thing, Race Fan. It's not really entirely their fault. Because, I mean, people are bombarded with hype boys just nonstop. And honestly, I stopped looking at YouTube. I really stopped watching a whole lot of YouTube, especially the shorts, once I really started getting into making YouTube. So it's been about 2.5, almost 3 months since I actually went and looked. And I actually went and scrolled through some shorts yesterday. And oh my God, it is painful. Actually, in doing that, I don't know if you noticed, like the last few days, I even toned my shorts down more. I'm like, gosh, I'm like, I need to get myself away from this. So I'm trying to be different for you all. Let's see here. Jabez says, press the like button. Yeah, hit the like button, everyone. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. 37 people in the stream. All right. Dan says, sounds like great advice. I hope so. I don't know which part you're referring to, but I hope it's all great advice for you. Steven says, prayers for your boy Mahomes from a Niners fan. Yeah, that was painful game to watch. I mean, I hope he's all right. Obviously, I hope he's at least, back to good as fast as possible. Hopefully he's not seriously hurt, but our season's over. It's sad as a Chiefs fan. It's the first time in a decade I haven't watched the playoffs with the Chiefs in it. But you know, I lived through 30 years of heartache in the playoffs. So to have the last 7 straight years in the AFC Championship game and 4 Super Bowls or 5 Super Bowls and 3 Super Bowl wins, it's been a dream as an NFL and as a Chiefs fan the last 7 years. So I can't be mad at it. It's someone else's chance now this year. We'll see what happens. Let's see here. Sorry about that. Two-Layer Ralph says banks will give up your box to anyone with a badge. That's true. But I mean, at the same time, I'm not really trying to do anything illegal. I'm not really worried about the cops. If I was worried about the cops, I could take it out of there, but I'm not trying to hide anything from the IRS, and I'm not in trouble with the law. So I'm not really, that's not a concern to me. I guess, Ralph, but that is a good point. I mean, they can take they can get in your safety deposit box. Tony says, hey, brother, what do you think will happen when the Clarity Act happens, not allowing Ripple to own more than 20% of the XRP supply? Well, they would have to reallocate it somewhere. I personally think it's a good thing that they have tight affiliation with their own treasury company. Evernorth seems like a really good parking spot for some XRP. They also have a lot of partnerships and 1,700 NDAs out there. I'm sure there's plenty of major players that would be willing to take XRP off their hands if they did have to move it around, including our government. I mean, there's a lot of theories. A lot of people think the government's going to take over some of it and it's going to become a national currency. I personally think they're going to spread it out amongst their different companies. Remember, they have multiple companies. So I think they would spread it out. I think Evernorth would see some, and I think some of their partners would see some as well. Again, my opinion, not financial advice, but as soon as that announcement came out on the 10th, when the markets crashed, right? As soon as that happened, right after that, Ripple said they were going to build Evernorth, right? And the announcement that came out on the 10th was saying that they were going to be looking at reclassifying DATs on January 15th. So right after that, they came out with Evernorth and came out with their own treasury company. So to me, that lines up. But again, not financial advice. That's speculation on my part. So hopefully that makes sense to you. I think the Clarity Act is going to be key. We need to be clarified as a currency or a bridge currency for them to fully utilize it as it's intended. And it's getting plugged in and accessed worldwide, globally. Singapore, Hong Kong, Switzerland, Europe, UK, Brazil. I mean, they have corridors everywhere. And I mean, it just needs the clarity. Let's see here. Dan says, great job today. All commentary was fantastic. We will purchase it after a week of findings in Japan. Yeah, we're going to see. Well, I mean, it's not necessarily a week of findings. I mean, Japan's going to hike on Friday. They said they were going to do this back in October. Again, I mean, so this has all been known. I mean, that's just me. I mean, Japan said they were going to hike back in October. I reported on it. This is not news to me. And I've been showing you guys the US versus the yen. I mean, the US dollar versus the yen is certainly weak. I mean, certainly weakening. The yen is strengthening. And when the yen is strengthening, Bitcoin falls. And when Bitcoin falls, crypto falls. That's where we're at right now. So stay convicted, guys. I'm out of info free today. The chat has run its course, but I appreciate every single one of you. I'll be back tomorrow at noon, and I'll keep any information and updates rolling to you. Again, like, share the video. If you want to help see the channel grow, the best thing you can do is like, share, comment, engage with the content. And the longer you watch, the more YouTube tells people you like it. That's all there is to it, okay? I appreciate y'all. I'll see you tomorrow. Later.